welcome back. Today, let's learn table tennis with Coach Chen Kangning.
If I want to press the arc on
This
a long
part
serve,
needs to go outward,
and this part
right?
goes inward,
Yes,
right?
I
I need to move it inward, right? Why inward? You also need to engage your core to prevent it from falling off the cliff. That's the essence of table tennis, right? Haha, right. All of your movement structure, all your power generation methods are basically for these two things. Plus one more thing, it must go over the net and stay in bounds. It must have some quality. Strong spin is also
Fast
quality.
speed
is also quality.
但是如果把速度和旋转结合好，力
When power and spin combine
That's
well, called composite quality.
所以为什么我们现在这个潮流叫什么？叫
Spin is the core. Power combines with it. Speed combines with
Even
it. Even pips out rubbers they have variation too.
常规的，对吧？
Right, so all our actions,
行为所有的动作发力干嘛，都是为了这几件事服务的。
if they go against this, then they are definitely wrong. Whatever aligns with this must be correct. So during training and
过
teaching,
程当中，
we must summarize more, reflect more, accumulate more, and think more.
找找窍门，跟孩子们多沟通，对吧？
A lot of people emphasize, I need explosive I need to
power.
generate power from the waist. And suddenly it just goes like this. Is it already flying off the table?
一个小朋友，
What kind of state were they in? They finished their stroke.
有的被慢慢带回来了，
Some just finished and left, and some are still lingering back there.
为啥？
They may especially emphasize hitting the ball fast, trying to produce quality. And on top of that, they're a bit anxious.
它是正确的。
That part is fine. But when it's time to unleash power, then what's the point of all that loading?
排蓄力嘛，
If your energy doesn't transfer into the ball, then it produces no actual effect. After all that effort, you're still just pushing the ball with your hand. The hand not only fails to delay slightly, it even engages too early.
我觉得
This is something we really need to be mindful of during forehand drives or during loops.
这个过程当中，
It's even more obvious in looping.
你能借到力，
With good timing, you can bar a spin.
你这样去拉，
You'll just feel like the ball won't move. You try to loop it, but it just sinks.
然后你跟他讲，
Pay attention to friction, but actually, it's not a matter of friction. It's because of a rushed
节
rhythm.
奏就错了，
You're hitting during the ball's rising phase.
再去自己发力了，这是第一个。第二个，
All the stored energy failed to show up in the shot. It was just an issue of rhythm, an improper
一
swing.
个挥手，
Do you think that can get the ball on the table? Even I was blindly guessing. I'm like, haha, you're gambling with the ball.
球打上台，
But when looping backspin, if you have this kind of force habit, it will be hard for you to loop backspin well. So I think this is something everyone really needs to pay attention to.
我会强调，
Look at the main techniques for the forehand serve.
都有一个往里转
A motion of turning inward and pressing to create a That's because the other side is a cliff, right? You're climbing a slope, aren't you? Using the force of lifting or friction to generate a curved trajectory. All of that is climbing the slope. You can't let it fall off the cliff.
加上摔下去啊，
That's why you need to accelerate and press. So where's this motion of accelerating and pressing? In the short game, it's done using impact.
往内这边，
And then going outward, right?
后面后半端是加速压弧线。我为什么要这样？是因为要加速压弧线。那如果这个小朋友总下网，有的小朋友是什么？
Their stroke wraps the ball too much.
你要告诉他什么？
You need to tell them to throw the ball forward. Even if at first they overcorrect, that's okay.
抛两个出界都没事，
Because your goal is to get them to put some power into the ball first.
钱给出去，那这个时候矫枉过正是值得的。等到他抛出去的感觉有了，你告诉他再顺势再转进来，而不是上来就往里加。所以很多小朋友拉球，他一开始就是他总下网，或者拉了球过去了以后巨短。
Right, that's the reason behind it. They intentionally pull inward too much, wrap the ball too much. Right, but the result of that force is either it hits the net.
要么就是特别短。
When kids are doing forehand loops,
如果你发，他老出界，
and they deliberately try to push the ball forward, what do you need to remind them of? It's that at the end, they need to contract and also finish with the hips and bring the racket head in at only the end. Then can you compress the arc. If you only focus on going forward, it's easy to overshoot. If your movement is to focus on pushing forward, you're actually going forward and
真
upward.
正的往前。当你转正，
Actually, it's already enough to go forward just a
不能
bit.
再往前了，
So what should you do?
往里面转，
This inward rotation,
我从侧面给大家看，
I rotate inward
其实才是往前，
if I really go forward.
举出去了。所以说，主观上的往前，它不是真正意义上的往前。
Rotating inward with natural follow through is real forward. Can you do the same thing on the backhand? Yes. If you try to push deliberately forward on the backhand, what happens? It's obviously just lifting the ball forward. What happens halfway through the motion? You start going outward.
对吧？那你看
Once your forward motion is aligned, the follow through goes
才
outward.
是真正的往前。
So with this kind of thing, your body's sense of motion and the actual result,
呈现的效果其实它会让人有偏差的，所以这一块儿
I think we first need to understand this concept clearly. We need to guide the kids well. A lot of kids play forehand like this, and backhand like this.
这个是要特别注意的。长球，我要想压弧线，我这一块儿得往外，对吧？那这边呢？哎，我要往里面，对吧？往里面干什么？还得收点腹。为什么还要撅屁股？为了让它别掉到悬崖下面。乒乓球本质不就是这样吗？过网不出界，对吧？你所有的动作结构、所有的发力方式、你的行为，其实就是为了干这两件事的。再加一个什么事儿？又过网又不出界，还得有点劲儿，还得有点质量。旋转强也是质量，速度快也是质量，力量大也是质量。但是如果我把速度和旋转结合好，力量和旋转结合好，那就是复合型的质量。所以为什么我们现在这个潮流叫什么？叫旋转为中心，力量跟它结合，速度跟它结合。颗粒里面也有旋转，也有变化，它是另外一种反常规的，对吧？所以说我们所有的行为、所有的动作、发力干嘛，都是为了这几件事服务的。如果跟这个矛盾的，那一定是不对的。哎，符合这个的一定是对的。那么我们在训练教学的过程当中，我们就可以多归纳、多总结、多积累、多动动脑筋、找找窍门，跟孩子们多沟通，对吧？有很多人强调，哎呀，我要爆发力，要爆发力，他手拼命的加突然性，就会加成这样。是不是够出去了？昨天我看到有好几个小朋友打成什么状态？他都打完了，这儿有的被慢慢带回来了，有的压根儿就打完了，这儿还赖在后面的。为啥？他可能特别强调什么呀？我要把球打快，打出质量，然后呢，再加上自己也有点慌，蓄力的过程他是正确的，他都没问题，对吧？等到要发力了。那你说你这蓄力蓄的还有什么意义？你不白蓄力吗？蓄的力最后在击球上面没有产生出任何效果来，最后弄半天还是手把球搞过去的，对吧？跟身体脱节了，这就是什么？手上面非但没有微微滞后，它还提前用劲儿了。我觉得是我们特别要注意的一个地方，在正手攻球或者拉球的这个过程当中，你拉球更明显，因为攻球你能借到力，你发个下旋，你拉下旋你都借不到力，你这样去拉，你就拉不动。你就觉得怎么球来了，一拉砰下去了，拉不动它。然后你跟他讲，你注意摩擦，注意摩擦，这其实不是摩擦的事儿，对吧？一个他这样一抢节奏，击球节奏就错了，他是赶上升期了，不是等下降前期再去自己发力了，这是第一个。第二个，他所有蓄的力都没有体现在球上，就仅仅是一个节奏不恰当的一个挥手，你说他能把球拉上台吗？我这也是硬蒙的，你就是攻球，他还能勉强把球打上台。一旦拉下旋了，你要是这种发力习惯，你就很难拉好下旋球了。所以这一块我觉得是大家特别要注意的。为什么我会强调？你看正反手的主要技术，包括台内的技术，都有一个往里转、往外转、压弧线的举动，是因为那边是悬崖，对吧？你爬坡是会爬了，对吧？利用拖的劲儿或者利用摩擦制造弧线，我都会爬坡，但是我不能让它从悬崖上摔下去啊。所以说我要什么？加速压弧线。那加速压弧线的举动在哪里？台内是利用撞击，然后哈，往内这边。往外，对吧？这是后半端是加速压弧线。我为什么要这样？是因为要加速压弧线。那如果这个小朋友总下网，有的小朋友是什么？ 拉球太夹，他这个球拉不长，你要告诉他什么？你要告诉他，你要把球抛出去，哪怕一开始他矫枉过正都没关系，抛2个出界都没事儿。为什么？你的目的是让他能够把球先给出劲儿来，往前给出去。那这个时候矫枉过正是值得的。等到他抛出去的感觉有了，你告诉他再顺势再转进来，而不是上来就往里夹。所以很多小朋友拉球，他一开始就是他总下网，或者拉了球过去了以后巨短，对吧？就是这个原因造成的。他会刻意的往里收，刻意的往里卷，想使劲儿嘛，对吧？但是他这个劲儿呢，呈现的结果要么就是下网，要么就是特别短。小朋友在拉球的过程当中，如果你发他老出界，然后呢，他又刻意的往前送，你要提醒他什么？就是最后收腹，最后撅屁股，尤其是食指最后要把板头带进来，这样的话才能压弧线。只知道往前的人特别容易出界，为什么？你如果动作真的是刻意往前，其实是往前上，它不是真正的往前。当你转正，其实往前已经足够了，你不能再往前了。要干什么？要往里面转。这个往里转，你看啊，我从侧面给大家看，我往里转了，其实才是往前。如果我真正往前，你看到哪儿了？举出去了。所以说，主观上的往前，它不是真正意义上的往前。转正，顺势往内才是真正的往前。那反手是不是可以举一反三了？反手，如果你发一个刻意的往前，这是什么？明显是往前上举，对不对了？往前一半干什么了？是不是往外了？对吧？那你看往前给正了以后，顺势往外，其实才是真正的往前。所以这个里面，你的肢体的本体感和实际呈现的效果，其实它会让人有偏差的。所以这一块呢，我觉得是我们首先要能够理解，第二个呢，要能够引导好孩子，不然的话，他很多小朋友正手打成这样，反手打成这样，所以这个是要特别注意的。
Read more about table tennis on my blog, pingsunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.